NewsNation's Hannah Brandt, she's following all this for us, and she's live from the White House now with more on how this legal process against Maduro is going to be playing out, starting with an arraignment as early as next week on multiple drug conspiracy and weapons charges. Hannah, what are you hearing?
Anna, a senior government official is telling NewsNation we could see Maduro and his wife in court in New York as soon as Monday. As you noted, they're currently on their way to New York. Right now, the president says both are in U.S. custody. They're on the battleship USS Iwo Jima. You can see that really extraordinary picture there that President Trump posted of Maduro on board the battleship. He looks to be both blindfolded and handcuffed on his way there. Maduro and other Venezuelan officials were actually first indicted back in 2020 in President Trump's first term. But today, the Justice Department did unseal a new indictment that adds to the charges against Maduro, who is now facing charges for narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess those devices. Now, this indictment accuses both Maduro and his wife of running what it calls a corrupt and illegitimate government that it says is fueling a drug trafficking operation pouring cocaine into the United States. The indictment says ultimately thousands of tons of cocaine have been trafficked through Venezuela on vessels like fishing boats and container ships. And President Trump says those drugs have killed countless Americans.
Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial on American soil. The overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's both horrible and breathtaking that something like this could have been allowed to take place.
The indictment also alleges Maduro and his wife ordered kidnapping and murders within Venezuela. As of now, they are not facing U.S. charges for that. Anna?
All right, and Hannah, there's been an outpouring of reactions from leaders saying they weren't properly notified. What are you hearing from members of Congress as you work your sources?
Some real concern here in Washington. Congressional leaders, we're told, weren't briefed ahead of this operation. Many lawmakers are upset about that. Democrats especially say President Trump should have come to Congress and gotten their permission for this strike and this capture within Venezuela. President Trump and his team, though, are defending their decision to not do that. Take a listen.
This was not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification on. It was a trigger-based mission in which conditions had to be met night after night. We watched and monitored that for a number of days. But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day, at its core, this was an arrest of two indicted fugitives of American justice, and the Department of War supported the Department of Justice in that job. Now, there are broader policy implications here, but it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify because it endangers the mission.
President Trump also saying had they notified lawmakers, there would have been a risk of leaks, which ultimately, of course, could have risked national security and the danger of those military forces on the ground there. Now, House Speaker Mike Johnson does say the Trump administration is currently working to set up future briefings for lawmakers, which he says will happen after they return to the Capitol in the week ahead. Anna?
All right, live from the White House, NewsNation's Hannah Brandt. Thank you so much. Great reporting.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.